Pretty Timmy and T, yeah, we raising the bar. Every sip's an adventure, we shooting for stars. Cut those wheels, take the scene, now we gliding in style. From the vineyards to the lounge, we redefining the mile. 4092 the base where the legends reside. Mixing vibes, not just drinks, it's the culture we provide. Tuesday libations, Wednesday we scrutinize. Catch the flavor, feel the energy, we on the rise. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real. Yeah. Have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl T, TNT Connect, and I am here this evening to unbox this Ninja Slushie and help you figure out how to set it up, get it running, and make your first slushie drink. All right, y'all, here we go with our Ninja Slushie. Timmy and baby girl bought it for me for Mother's Day and my early birthday present. And it is actually going to be used by our family and friends, and probably Timmy most of the time, and maybe baby girl, she'll come down and get one. I don't mind slushy drinks, but I would prefer to be laying in the pool with something like this or outside when it's hot. But we're going to check it out and see how this works, whether it's actually good, in terms of exactly how much slush will this be, or will it be, you know, like real thick slushy, or is it just going to be like watery slushy? Don't know. But anyway, we about to find out. So let's go ahead and open this up. As you can see, we got the box here with the equipment, but we also had to purchase the different flavors for it. So think of it like a snow cone. All snow cones need their flavors. That's basically what this is. So why don't you tell them what we got, man?
All right. Because I like the fruit drinks, we got mango, pineapple, and everybody's favorite Bahama Mama. My favorite green apple and raspberry. So we're gonna get this thing popping, and yes, I think this might be my favorite. The Bartesian is pretty decent for mixed drinks, but it's not all that. But this right here, I think gonna be my go-to for the summer. Let me get that for you.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and get this open, and we'll be right back. Pause it.
All right, let's go.
All right, so we took it out the box, and just for those of you to know, I was trying to open up the top of it, but the bottom, this sealed bottom here, is taped. But if you undo the bottom, you can actually just lift the top off, so it comes out. The box comes out of it from the top. You don't have to take it out the box. You just take the box off of it. So, just FYI for you.
Any kind of refrigerated system, most mechanics know you don't lay refrigerators down on the side because they're messing with the freon in it. Then you got to let it set up right, like 24 hours. But this came top slid off, and I said that's for a reason, because you got a type of refrigerator system in it, so they don't want you to lay it all over the place.
All right, so in the box, before we open up the machine, we have a pouch of instructions here. So this comes with the Ninja Slush Quick Start Guide. It also has some frozen drinks tips and tricks. It also has some Ninja Slushy delicious recipes. And then it also has the actual instructions. And so we're going to be focusing on this. So I'm going to move these little pamphlets out the way, because we won't need this until we get everything set up. Just going to put it over here. And so with the instructions, just so you know, there are different parts here. So while Mr. Timmy takes apart these pieces, we're going to talk about what items we actually have here. So you'll make sure when you get yours that it actually has all of the pieces. So according to this, there's a total of 12 parts, okay? So, part A, well, once he takes the box off, I'll be able to let you all know, but I think there's something on the top of it here. What is that? All right.
Filter system look like a string.
So this one here, you should have and I'm looking at the grid here, and I'll put it on the screen so you can see it more close up. For this here, this is F. This is the 2-part drip tray. So this is the drip tray like you normally would see, you know, on any other type of reservoir when there's drip water, whether it's a coffee machine, water machine, or whatever. This will go on the bottom to catch all the liquid. So we have that. All right.
And the little bastard is heavy.
You say, and it's heavy?
It's heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, it feel like it's about 25, maybe 30 pounds.
Okay. Why you got tape on you?
I put a tape on me because I got to take this off. Then I'm going to throw it all the way at one time.
Got it?
Yes. I'm going to lift it.
So, let's go ahead and Timmy can turn the machine around so we can see what parts we got, what parts we have. So here's your Ninja machine, folks. This is in the front. This is what it looks like, is what you'll most likely see most of the time in the front. And then on the, we're gonna turn it on the other side, other way. Here. So here, according to these parts, you have your easy fill port and cover, and that is this here. This here, sorry. Oh, let me put that back. That's this part right here. This is your port cover. Then you also have your vessel. Your vessel is basically this that goes inside of it. Then you have your comfort handle. Your comfort handle is this here. You have your pour spout with the removable shroud, and that is down here. So this actually can come off because you have to clean it. Your condensation catch, that's E. That is actually inside, which is a little black piece under it. For F is a 2-part drip tray, which is what I just showed you. You have G, which is your bail handle, G, and G is, where's G? Okay, that's what this is your handle here. H is your evaporator. So now we're starting to get all into this electrical over here. So this is your evaporator, which is attached to the motor. So it's inside here. Your auger, I, where's I? I is what's actually going to swirl the fluid around so it can freeze and keep it from clumping up. J is your motor base. That's J, that's actually inside here. K is your control panel, and that's basically all of here, which will show you, you know, for you to push and figure out, you know, how cold you want it and so forth. But we're going to find out what these actual instructions mean, these buttons mean. And then you have the drip tray, which is actually on the other side, which is here, and you actually pull this out. All right, so let's go ahead and get into how is this going to look.
Turn it around a little bit more because I got some caution stickers on the machine itself.
Okay.
You see the caution stickers?
Right. Yeah, well, I'm reading instructions. I'll get there and then I get to the instructions. You want to jump ahead?
No, I ain't trying to jump ahead because you was facing everybody. And when you was going through explaining the parts, I figured since you was doing that, you would go ahead on and explain the caution stickers.
Well, no, because guess what? I can't explain that if I'm not reading to find out what they mean. I can read them and assume what they mean. Or I can read these instructions and cover it when they get to that next step. Because guess what? Everybody ain't smart.
You doing it.
So now, using the control panel. So just so you all know, this is your control panel here. You have your on and off switch here. Can you zoom in on here, please? All right. Here's your panel. Let me take this off because it's covering. This is your control panel. Here's your on and off switch here. And then here, let me see, this cycle. Then these are your different agitation steps here. So here you have your frozen juice. Do you want a milkshake? Do you want a frappe? Do you want a spiked slush? Or do you want a full slush? So you get to choose by hitting this here where it says rinse right here. And you can go ahead and push this multiple times and it'll go to where it needs to go. On the right hand side, you have your temperature control setting. Your temperature control setting will determine which of these you choose. So if you want it more colder, you push the up button and the down for the down button. Now, just as any other, anything that you purchase in the mail, make sure that you take apart these items and that you clean them with warm, soapy water. Anything that you can. And always make sure you read the instructions on what you can clean, what you can't. So you don't want to take it and put it in the dishwasher. You want to wash it by hand. Just get a nice soft rag with some warm water, a little bit of soap, because you don't know what's in it. Okay? All right. Once you clean it and you put it back together, and the manual here will show you exactly how the parts go. You want to make sure once it's cleaned up, then you want to read your instructions, and then you can plug it up and get ready to fix you your slushie. All right. Pause that for a minute, please. All right, everyone. So it's time to wash these parts. And actually, while you're washing these parts, make sure, however you stored it, whether it was laying on its side, on its back, or upright, make sure that this unit has been sitting upright for at least 2 hours before operations, okay? We've already had this sitting up for days. It hasn't laid on the side. So what we're going to do is actually wash these parts and then get into start making our first slushie. Okay, you can turn it off. All right, so you don't need to take apart everything. So we're about to show you now how to remove the parts that you need in order to wash and wipe down. So the first thing you want to do is take this handle here and you want to pull it forward. This loosens your main piece and you want to just slide this out, okay? The next thing is you take the agitator and it just comes right off. And then this right here is the little tray. You just want to pull that out nicely here. Everything else, what you want to do is you just get like just a warm rag. You don't have to put some major soap, but just a warm rag, and you can just wipe around everything else. You don't take apart anything else. These are the only parts that you actually use to and I need to actually look and see whether this handle comes off or how this handle comes off. Let me see if it even comes off at all. Okay, and it does give you instructions on specifics. So those of you who just prefer to look at it visually, this is the actual one. Okay, so that handle does not come off. So this handle does not come off. What you do is you just clean it like you would do anything else. You would clean it upside down and then just let it pretty much air dry and just wipe it down. Okay? All right, so let's go wash our parts. Go ahead.
All right. So since a lot of people don't like to read the instructions, some of us will just go to it and go. Like I'm an equipment specialist, so what my job is similar to this right here. We put a lot of cautions and warning in everything. This right here help you from tearing up your brand new machine. So to start off with, a lot of these stickers up here, some people will remove them. You don't necessarily have to remove it. So I'm gonna turn it to the side, and you give you your first three. First caution: let the machine set upright for 2 hours because of the refrigerant. So you want to let it set upright, and ours been setting upright for a minute, so we should have no problems. One of the other ones, you got a low sugar alert sticker, and then it tell you how to fix it. And then over here, you got a high sugar alert, and it tell you again how to fix it. Then up here on the very top, right, so you got some caution labels on top. Your added liquid here, and that's telling you, where you put it in right here. And right here, another sticker, keep unit running during dispensary. And here you got another disassemble, pull the handle dispenser, and push back. And this is going to tell you how to help you with for as cleaning goes. So you won't have to keep referring back to the manual. I got a sticker right here for your slush, your spiked slush, your frozen juice, frap, and your milkshake.
Hey.
All right. Now I'm going to turn it back around. And like I said, this little baby is heavy because I've been turning it on the table and scratching up the table. Right here, barcode, and it says, for the best slushes, scan below to get started. Most important caution right there. I ain't gonna call it a caution, I'm gonna call it a go-to. It says, for the best slushes, scan below to get started. Right here on the barcode.
Go ahead.
Well, basically, like I said, the cord is still not plugged up because we was washing and cleaning the unit. You don't want to do that when it's plugged into the wall.
Go.
All right, now at this point, we're going to plug this thing up, and we're going to make an attempt to see and make this first slushy, but it says it can take up to 15 to 60 minutes, depending on the ingredients. So we're going to see what we're going to get.
All right, everybody. So contents are already washed. We've already read the instructions. So we're here to let you know how to make the simple 2-ingredient spiked slush. There's various ones. Tune in for additional videos for the different types of cocktails. But today what we're going to be making is a mango margarita. So we'll be using the mango pineapple flavor slush mix here, and we're going to be using some Coramino tequila. And why am I using Coraminos? Because the other tequila that's up on my bar costs too damn much to be mixing in this slushy, and the ones that I normally would put in the slushy, I don't have enough in there, which means they're almost empty. So therefore, this was the only one that was in the middle that I was willing to sacrifice to actually put into this mixed drink. So before I do this, I do want to make a note. When you get this slushy mix machine, this Ninja slushy machine, please read all of the instructions. The reason I say read all of the instructions is because there are specific measurements of sugar and alcohol that is going to impact the outcome of your slushy mix. So therefore, there are contents in there such as if an item doesn't have enough sugar, it's not going to slush well. If the contents have too much alcohol or too little alcohol, it may not slush as well, or it may not freeze or get as cold or slushy as it needs to be. Okay? However, there may be times you may need to make adjustments, especially if you are creating your own mixture. And that's usually when you'll need to tend to those instructions specifically to make sure that you look at the sugar ingredients and the alcohol ingredients. The same thing goes for wine and beer. So just so you know, wine and beer has to be between a certain percentage of alcohol. Otherwise, it's just going to be nothing but liquid. So pay attention to that. But I just wanted to stress that for you. All right. So Timmy is going to give me the instructions on what to do. So let me go ahead and open this up first. Oop. Oh shit. Okay. I didn't think it opened up that quick. I just touched the top and said, "Oh well, let me shake it up," and then.
And one more thing to add, per the service, it says 6 to 8 servings, but it's based off 12-ounce cans. When it say 6 to 8 servings, so you multiply.
Yeah.
And that's going to give you the service amount.
So this is 64 ounces. And they say the Slushie, Ninja Slushie said that for the best result with your drinks, it's best to fill up your Ninja Slushie with 64 ounces of the actual mix, whatever mix that you're using. Use the full 64 ounce. Now, since we're using alcohol and not wine and beer, I have to use per 64 ounces, 10 ounces of this tequila, because of the level of alcohol that it is, because it's over 38%. It's over 38%, it's 10 ounces for every 64 ounces, but they will have a chart in the guidelines. So
and you might have to add water if you go past that.
If you do go past that, you do add water, but that is one you need to go to the instructions. We're not going to be able to sit here and tell you every single last detail, just the main stuff to get you started. But it's very important to look at those instructions for the little nuances and tweaks that you need to make. All right, so let's go into it. We're going to first open up our cover here. And is it plugged in? First check that it's plugged in. Yes, it is plugged in. Do I cut this on first, sir, or?
No.
Okay, so pour my stuff in first. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and pour. This is 64 ounces. All right. And going to save this jug. You know why? Because if we decide and we make this and we say, we don't want this anymore. We want to try something different, right? But you don't want to waste what you already have made, right? So what we can always do is drain this out. Of course, we'll need something with a bigger spout than this. But drain it out. Let it liquefy. Then you can pour it in a container such as this and put it in the refrigerator. It'll just liquefy. And then later on, if you wanted to re-slush, shake it up, pour it in here. You don't have to worry about adding any alcohol or anything because it's already done. So I'm going to put this to the side because I'm going to keep this. So now it's time to put my 10 ounces of tequila. This is a 5-ounce glass, measurement glass. All right, this is 5 ounces. All right. Then we're going to close the lid. All right. And I hate a little mess. I'm going to go get a napkin real quick. Pause that real quick. All right, everyone. So we have all the liquid in. I close the top. Timmy, what else do I need to do? Push this on button?
Nope. You got to hit the spike slush button.
Do I need to turn it on, don't I?
No, hit the spike slush button. That's what it says.
Well, it ain't on. It ain't doing nothing.
Well, turn it on. Now hit the spike slush button.
So here I see, and we're just observing it. It's our first time watching it. So this is the mode, what type of drink, what type of slush. And on this side is the temperature. So it's gauging the temperature, and as you can see right now, it's at the highest temperature here. So am I to push this temperature, or does it automatically do it?
You adjust that, depends on
How
how thick
cold I
or the
want it?
condensed you want it.
Okay,
If you,
how condensed do you want yours?
that's regular slush.
Just regular slush. So
Yeah,
then,
so
okay, we
receive it.
know because it's blinking. So that's why I was wondering.
Right, it's gonna blink until it'll get solid. Once it gets solid inside the machine.
Okay. All right. Y'all heard him. Let's go on and wait. It may be 15 minutes or 60 minutes, but we'll be back.
Meals factor allows them to cruise more frequently throughout the year rather than taking one big vacation. It is a safer alternative that is a lot more convenient. So for those travelers, a short cruise.
Okay, everybody. Well, it is done slushing. Of course, as I stated. So as you can see, it's semi-slushy, like a spiked slushy, like if you want your alcohol drink slushy. So as you can see, the consistency there. To me, I would have expected it to be a lot more thicker, but this is pretty much, when someone says, this isn't giving if you want like a frozen margarita, which is what I thought I would have. But I guess if you want it more frothy, I guess the best thing to do is to just have the mix and the water mix first and then add the alcohol last after it's been slushed. And then that way you just use the slush maker to actually mix it at the end. I think that'll probably be how we go with it. But we're going to be back and forth with you to show you the different methods that we've used to really get the outcome that we want. If you're not putting alcohol in your drink, this probably you would have just hit the slush button, which is the one at the top, instead of the spiked slush. So spiked slush means there's alcohol in there. Frappe and milkshake means there's milk in there of some sort. And then you have your frozen juice, which will probably come out just like this, but it knows it's just juice. And then you just have slush, which is less slushiness than this. It just sort of makes it very cold, it makes it a little icy. So to me, I'm curious to know what that frozen juice, what each method will give me. And so stay tuned for upcoming videos on the different levels of the slush and see what it gives you. But for right now, this slush is satisfactory for what it's supposed to give. Of course, I'm going to taste it. Okay, so this slush is giving, when you go into the gas station and they have like those slushy machines and you mix them, that's what this is giving you, where you can actually drink it through a straw and not have to sort of use a spoon for it. So this is actually satisfactory. However, it does need a little more alcohol in it. So I think what I'll do is like they do at Wet Willie's, where you actually add extra alcohol on the top once it comes out. Add yourself a little shot and then stir it in there. So I think that's probably what we'll do going forward. We'll add some alcohol in the actual drink itself, or just leave it with no alcohol for those people who may not want alcohol, right? And then it'll just be an option to add the alcohol later. But here's a slushy machine, and since this is about 6 ounces, I'm just going to drink this like this. We'll make you some pre-presentation shortly, and I'll just send you a picture. But outside of that, please hit that like button and hit and subscribe. There will be more how-to videos. And join us as we begin to enjoy our ninja And also, don't forget, we also have our Bartesian over there as well. So we'll be sending some more videos there as well because we did get some new flavors. Haven't visited that in a while. So anyway, you all have a good day or evening wherever you are in the world, and we will check you out next time. Stay tuned to TT Connect.